For the longest time, I and so many other people wondered where the heck the sequel to Call of Duty Mobile was. COD Mobile 2, as it's been rumored for years. A lot of people thought that Warzone Mobile would be the sequel to Call of Duty Mobile. Maybe they'd call it Modern Warfare Mobile, for instance. But unfortunately for that game, they focused much more on the Battle Royale side and didn't really add all of the content necessary to make it like a true sequel to Call of Duty Mobile. So because of that, we still don't have a proper COD Mobile 2. Activision has never hinted at a COD Mobile 2, and it's going to be a long time, if ever, when we will eventually get one. In the meantime, though, it's been years since COD Mobile has come out, and many other companies have tried to capitalize on the success of Call of Duty Mobile, trying to replicate the best and most successful mobile first-person shooter ever. Some of them are really good. Some of them are extremely underrated. Games like Battle Prime, for instance, are actually really good competitors to Call of Duty Mobile. And then there's others that are just complete fails. They're not very good. But one game in particular stood out to me for the longest time. It's a game that I really think, if things panned out differently, it could have actually been a very good competitor to Call of Duty Mobile, and maybe even the true successor to Call of Duty Mobile. The COD Mobile 2, if it ever actually had come out. This is a game called Life and Death 2, or better known as Battle Teams 2. It's a game that's really only for a Chinese audience. They first released it in China, and it since has been released globally, but it's only in the Chinese language. You can get it from Steam on PC, but this game, for the longest time, was planned to release on mobile devices. They had a mobile trailer, they had leaks and rumors and news and all this type of stuff. You could go to TapTap and you could search up Life and Death 2 and pre-register for it there, as well as other Chinese websites. And everything was poised for this game to be like that first true next-gen first-person shooter for mobile devices, because this game was going to come out like in 2021, before games like Arena Breakout and Delta Force were ever even conceived. The best we had was Call of Duty Mobile, and this game literally looked better. So like, this literally could have been the #1 first-person shooter at its time. But for some reason, I don't really understand why development never really ended up happening for the mobile version of the game. Even though it was planned to come out, it never did. And it's still there on the pre-register page for TapTap. All the way up until about a year ago, I had that slimmer of hope that I thought maybe it would eventually come out for mobile devices. But like, as the years have progressed and we haven't heard anything from it, I think it's less and less likely. And I think they've just basically given up on the project. As I said, though, you can play in this game, and it's actually a lot of fun despite it being in Chinese. I've played enough to understand a majority of things, though. There are many different multiplayer game modes in this game. You have your team deathmatch, you have your bomb defuse, you have a sword warrior game mode, which this is basically melee only with low gravity. So you can bounce all around the map and swing at people as much as you can and try to eliminate the entire enemy team. It's very unique, something I've not seen in a Call of Duty game, which is why this game is truly unique. There is gun game. There is, I think, Infection. I'm pretty sure this is Infection. Free-for-all, Stronghold, Snipers, Fierce Race. I have no idea what Fierce Race is, but it looks like it would be a pretty cool game mode. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg, as a lot of people would say. There is also Battle Royale in this game, and Battle Royale is awesome. There are 2 different Battle Royale maps, a desert map and this islandy, foresty type of map. I have not been able to play in Battle Royale personally. There are not enough people online, I think, to be able to connect to Battle Royale. I don't know if this is one of those games that has no bots. So that means if there's literally less than 100 people total online, you're never going to find a Battle Royale server because there's not enough people playing in Battle Royale, right? But I've seen gameplay from Chinese YouTube of people playing in Battle Royale from a couple of years ago when this game was a little bit more popular, and it looks fantastic. There are jetpacks. There are many different types of vehicles. The graphics look stunning and truly next-gen in my personal opinion. If this game had come out for mobile devices, it would have been right up there with like Apex Legends Mobile for having some of the best graphics for a mobile Battle Royale game. And I would have gone as far to say that this game would have been even better than Apex Legends Mobile graphics-wise, because just looking at the gameplay on PC, the mobile version would have been fantastic. However, that is not the only thing. Again, there is also a big head mode in this game, where your character has a big head and it makes it a much more obvious target. Everybody has big heads. Everybody can play as these different characters, from the dog to the dinosaur to this penguin. And I get a lot of people are not going to like something like this, but this is just such a crazy clash of things. Like, you have your realistic looking characters like this guy, and even people like this girl right here. But then you also have this, and you can play as this in this game, and it's just ridiculous. In this big head mode, there are many different modes that you can play in. Battle Royale, where you just play Battle Royale with these big heads on. You have a party mode, which I think this is just like a friendly, just casual mode where you can hang out with other people with these unique characters. You have your regular multiplayer modes. You have hide and seek with their own unique maps for them. And then there's even this one, which I think could potentially be like the Fall Guys version of this game. So we could have had Fall Guys Mobile before Fall Guys Mobile even came out, but it was in a game that had much more realistic graphics and actually had a first-person shooter component to it. It's just crazy, dude. And that's why I really think this game was trying to compete with Call of Duty Online. If you remember COD Online, it was a very popular Chinese game. It was basically Call of Duty in China, but it had all of the, like, components of every Call of Duty game wrapped into one game. And it was just awesome. So many people all around the world loved Call of Duty Online, and it was just a very difficult game to obtain. But it had some ridiculous things that you would not normally see in a Call of Duty game. It had the most ridiculous, like, dragon boss fights, crazy skins, all of this other type of stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, like, it worked well for that game because it was more for a Chinese audience. This game seems like it really tried to be a competitor to that, like the next generation version of that game, since that game was kind of old. There was literally a person sitting right there. But like you can see here, in terms of the graphics, the gameplay, it really does feel like a Call of Duty game, at least in my personal opinion. And so this game can be compared to Call of Duty Online, but at the same time, Call of Duty Mobile could be compared to Call of Duty Online because they had the same type of development team behind both of those games. There were a lot of the same features added to Call of Duty Mobile to COD Online because COD Mobile took a lot of inspiration from Call of Duty Online. So it's really unique. Oh my god. Oh no, I got killed. But yeah, so if Call of Duty Mobile took inspiration from COD Online, and this game also took inspiration from COD Online, you can see how I can draw comparisons between these games and how if this game were to come out, it really could have been like the next generation version of Call of Duty Mobile. These graphics are fantastic. They are all the way there. The character models are a little ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie, but that is also because this is much more for a Chinese audience. So you kind of expect these types of characters in a game that's much more geared toward that audience because it's what they prefer. I don't know. A Western audience wouldn't really prefer this as much, but it's still a ton of fun, and it is a very cool game that I think a lot of people would really enjoy, even if you're not in China and you don't really understand a lot of the things in this game. I think this is a severely underrated game, and it's such a shame that this game never came out for, you know, mobile devices, because like I just think something like this would have been so popular. Maybe this game, the developers ran out of money, potentially. They ran out of funding or something like that, and that's why it didn't come out. Because I've seen videos on Chinese YouTube that makes it seem like they already made a mobile version of the game, and they already were doing some testing, but like they just never really completed it. I'm not 100% sure. You know, maybe those videos could have been from an emulated version of the game, but it's awesome. I don't really know. And here we are in another team deathmatch mode. This looks fantastic, dude. Graphics. This game's graphics are insane. I love how this game looks. Unfortunately, this is really the only game mode that I'm going to get to play in because I can't find any servers available in Battle Royale and some of these other maps. It just seems like people really only care about the team deathmatch mode. I've waited like, you know, 20 plus minutes at a time trying to jump into a Battle Royale match, and there's no people. Same with the big head mode, same with these other ones. There's just no people. It's not really that big of a deal. It's still a lot of fun, and at least I can show you all some gameplay. It's not completely dead. To me, this game really feels like an older Call of Duty game. I don't know if I said that already, but like, I play this game, and I feel like I'm playing a Call of Duty game from like, 10 years ago or something like that. Not in terms of the graphics, but in terms of like the gameplay mechanics. It's not really the same as the newest Call of Duty games. So if you download this game and you expect it to be like Modern Warfare 3, it's not going to be like that. It's much slower paced. It doesn't have that tactical sprint and some of the other stuff that you had in Call of Duty games of the present day, but it still feels like some of the older classic Call of Duty games. And that's really cool, because there's not too many games that have that type of look and feel. All the games are transitioning over to the tactical sprint and these newer mechanics that Call of Duty now has. It also doesn't help with the amount of ping that I have. I feel like I have very high ping. I don't think I'm connected to a North American server. I know I said that, but like, I feel like... Was that the same person? Are you kidding me right now? I feel like I'm connected to a Chinese server, and because of that, yeah, there's not too many people. Is this person right there again? Oh, God. Come on. 148. Can we win? Oh, my God, dude. Yes, let's go. So, yeah, now, I'm going to show you all some gameplay in the background of the big head mode just for a minute or two. The big head mode is ridiculous, and it's very different from something you would expect in a Call of Duty game. I get that a lot of people are going to see something like that and be like, oh, how could you even compare this to Call of Duty? But like, if you see all of the other types of game modes, you can see how it's very similar to COD Online, as I said, which in turn is very similar to Call of Duty Mobile. They all take inspiration from one another. Now, this big head mode is just another additional thing added to it. And in my personal opinion, I don't really see it as a bad thing. It just adds more players to the overall game, because if somebody really likes that whole big head mode aesthetic and they don't really like some of the other stuff, it just makes it more popular. The game would get more funding, and the game should be a bigger game overall. I just don't really understand why this game wouldn't come out for mobile players globally. As I said, I think the only real explanation is this game just lost funding and they couldn't finish it for mobile devices. But we're gonna all be optimistic, okay? We're gonna hope that this game is gonna actually come out. It's just delayed, That's all we're gonna say here. Oh my God! Wait, this is the anti-gravity. Okay. All right, hold on. So, do you remember how I talked about how in the sword fight mode, it's anti-gravity? It looks like it's not. It's not. It's just this particular map. That is so cool. So, individual maps in this game have their own unique physics. This particular map has low gravity, and it doesn't matter what game mode you play in, it will be a low gravity map, which is just so unique. I've not seen this before. This is something that I would expect in like, Pixel Gun 3D, for instance. There's a map in Pixel Gun 3D called Inside the Code. From many, many years ago, and that was like a low gravity map or something like that. So that's really unique. That's really cool. But do you see what I mean, though? Like, something like this would have been so cool on mobile. Like, it's not that hard to add anti-gravity for your mobile game, Pixel Gun 3D did it years ago. So, like, it's not like it's something that's completely unheard of. Oh, I was about to pick up that person's gun. But, like, I don't know. I feel like mobile players would like this. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. You can let me know in the comments that, no, you don't want something like this. But I think something like this would be really cool. If there was like a limited time mode added to COD Mobile where they had a special map for a certain period of time where you could play in low gravity, or maybe there was a limited time mode where they just had low gravity for all the maps and you could play it if you wanted. It wasn't like a permanent thing, but like if you wanted to have the option of low gravity, that would just be really cool. I don't really know. I'm not very good at this map. It's very difficult. It's fun and it works. There's a guy that's over here. I know that for sure. Let's go see. Ooh, let's go. Quick scoping. I don't know. I just think it's really cool, this little anti-gravity type of game mode. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this? Do you think this would be cool in Call of Duty Mobile? Let me know in the comments. Activision is going to watch this and be like, oh, everybody likes anti-gravity. Let's just add it as a permanent thing. No, that's not what I mean. That's not what anybody means. I just want it to be an optional thing. I don't think we're going to win this one. Very, very difficult map. Oh, but there we go. There we go. There's another person right over here, too. You can really either play offensive or defensive. And I think I think we're going to lose here. Yeah, we got the defeat. That's unfortunate. So yes, as I said, there are many different playable characters in this game. And I really think something like this wouldn't have happened if it was more of a global game. You know, since this game is really only focused for a Chinese audience, playable characters like this just make more sense. Something like this could have been in the global version of the game, though. I think that could have been really cool. This guy would have been really cool. This girl could have been really cool. You have what looks like 7 different loadouts, and if I click on this, there's even more tabs. I don't really understand. I don't know if you can customize. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So you can fully customize your weapons with different attachments. Oh my god, dude, it is so in-depth. Look at this. And there's even like these little things. This is something that you would see in a Call of Duty game. That's crazy. Then you go over here, you have some more stuff. You have all of your blueprints, it looks like, for your most special skins in this game. But then you have this tab right here, and I don't know. I don't know if this is servers or if this is clans. I'm thinking it's clans because I think there's no way there's this many people online. You can see that there's this many players on one page, and then there's 1,752 pages. I think this might be clans. So you have all of your coolest weapons that you can get in crates, and they have videos for all of them, like this one right here. This one looks cool. I don't know. It shoots out this, like, sun. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch what happens. It looks like a railgun, almost. I don't know. But this thing turns into a sun. And I don't know if that's the killing animation. It might be. But then you have something like this one right here. What is this thing? That is so cool. Call of Duty Mobile fans are going to like these weapons and these skins, I think. So yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about. I guess we can just talk about how, like, you know, with this game actually not really coming out for mobile devices, it further proves that mobile gaming is a much more difficult space to get into as a developer in the 2020s. You know, back in like 2014, for instance, it was so easy to make a successful mobile first-person shooter or third-person shooter or whatever because there just weren't that many games out there. You know, you had Modern Combat 5, for instance, and that was like really one of the only ones that was actually Call of Duty level. But like every other game was pretty terrible. And because of that, you didn't really have to put that much effort into your game to make it really, really good. Nowadays, every game is like subsidized by NetEase or Tencent or Activision or all these other mega companies. And because of that, they're all going to be really, really good games. People have much higher standards. People have to spend so much more money developing these games to make them, you know, actually successful. You can't just really have some little small indie game anymore. Even these games like Combat Master and, you know, Firefront Mobile FPS, they're made by smaller development teams, but they are costing a lot of money for their developers. They're not just like real easy, quick games, and that's why it's taking so long for them to get updates or even release. So something like this, Life and Death 2, Battle Teams 2, I think if it was a few years earlier, it would have come out and it would have been very successful. It could have actually been a very, very good mobile game, but maybe it just wasn't the right time. Late 2021, early 2022 was maybe too competitive, and they just couldn't really do it. I don't really know. Too much money already to develop a game, and that's just kind of what ended up happening. But I'm going to try and see if I can figure out some more information about the mobile version of the game. And if you guys have any information, you just happen to be watching this video and being like, oh yeah, you know, I actually know all about this game. Or, you know, maybe I have some viewers from China that actually have the latest up-to-date information about this game. I don't really know. I would love to hear it. And if maybe there's some secret version of this game on mobile devices, I'd love to be able to get it. I'd love to be able to make a video where I could show how to play this game on mobile, because I think a lot of people would love to be able to play a game like this. So yeah, to kind of wrap everything up here, I'm just going to show you all a little bit more gameplay that I got about a year ago when I made my last video on this game before it came out for Steam. I completely forgot, but this game has an entire zombies game mode where it's not necessarily exactly the same as Call of Duty Zombies, where you just have wave after wave of zombies. This one is more of a mission-based zombies mode where you have to progress through different areas of a map, and then eventually you're going to defeat the boss and then win. It's a very, very cool game mode, and it's another great addition to Life and Death 2, Battle Teams 2, whatever you'd like to call this game. And it really kind of shows that this game has everything to be considered a COD Mobile 2 in a lot of respects. Obviously, I understand the character design, maybe a little bit of the gameplay mechanics are a little bit different. But like, if you take a look at it, this game has tons of different weapons with unique weapon skins. You can fully customize them like in a Call of Duty game. It has very similar gameplay mechanics to some of the older Call of Duty games, not necessarily the newest ones, but some of the older ones, which in turn is similar to Call of Duty Mobile, because COD Mobile doesn't have all of the newest mechanics that some of the newest Call of Duty games have. It has a lot of different maps, very good-looking maps, and then it has a plethora of different game modes. You know, you have everything from your Battle Royale mode to your standard multiplayer modes. You have ranked, you have zombies mode, you have a whole bunch of different stuff. And it really kind of makes this game like a COD Mobile 2, because my envisioning of a COD Mobile 2 would have all of the content that COD Mobile has, if not more, you know? It's going to have all of the different features from all of the different Call of Duty games blended into one, because otherwise, if it doesn't, it shouldn't be called COD Mobile 2. It should be called, you know, Black Ops Mobile or Modern Warfare Mobile or something like that. A COD Mobile 2 should have so much different content to truly make it like an all-around mobile Call of Duty game. And with that being said, hope you all did enjoy. If you did, please take a second and leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below if you'd like to see more videos on this game. I would totally be down to doing more on it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next episode.